You wouldn't want to be an Aztec sacrifice. Gruesome things you'd rather not know. Written by Fiona MacDonald, illustrated by David Antrim. Introduction. It is the late 15th century in Mesoamerica, the area where North and South America meet. You live in a prosperous Mexican city that was conquered by the Aztecs in 1428. The Aztecs are an energetic and warlike people who are now at the height of their power. They arrived in Mexico around 1200. At first, they lived peacefully among your people, working as soldiers and servants. They soon made their presence felt more strongly when they fought and won a war against their masters. In 1325, the Aztecs settled on an island in the middle of a swampy lake and built a vast new city called Tenochtitlan. Since then, the Aztecs have set out to take over all the neighboring lands. They often demand goods from the cities they have conquered. You have also heard that they take captives and kill them as offerings to their gods. The Aztecs can be ruthless when they are seeking captives. One thing you know for sure is that you wouldn't want to be an Aztec sacrifice. Great expectations. You are a young man from a noble family in the Central Valley of Mexico. You have a comfortable home, plenty of food, and a happy family. You enjoy strength and good health. If it weren't for your overlords, the Aztecs, you would be content with your life. The Aztecs are fearsome warriors, and everybody is scared of them. Your servants have heard a rumor that Aztec ambassadors will soon be arriving in your city. They visit conquered peoples every year, and you dread their arrival. The Aztecs live in Mesoamerica, where North and South America meet. Their capital city, Tenochtitlan, is built on an island in a lake in the Central Valley of Mexico. What you like about your life. You got married at age 20 to a girl chosen by your parents. Now you have an adorable baby son. You were well fed and cared for in childhood, and you grew up healthy. You exercise to keep in shape. You live with your wife and child in your parents' house. It is very large and has a spacious courtyard. You eat plenty of healthy food, mostly maize and fresh vegetables. You also eat lots of spicy foods. You own fine clothes, including a feathered headdress and gold jewelry. You were sent to school as a boy and are able to read, write, and do simple calculations. You are respected by the other citizens because of your nobility. Handy hint. Make offerings to your city's guardian god. He might protect you from the Aztecs. Hand it over. Tribute payments. It's true, Aztec ambassadors, accompanied by well-armed bodyguards, have just arrived in your city. They come every year to demand goods, known as tribute, which they take back to their capital city. Handing over so much tribute is a great burden for your city, but worse is to come. The Aztecs challenge you to a flowery war. They want to fight you so they can take some of you captive in battle. Picture writing. Aztec scribes used picture writing to draw up lists of all the goods taken as tribute. The most valuable tribute goods include cloaks, blankets, fingers, and cotton. Flowery wars are not battles where soldiers throw plants at one another. They are ritual wars fought by the Aztecs to win captives for sacrifice. Handy hint. Don't try to cheat as you hand over payment tributes. Aztec spies have sharp eyes and keep a careful record of everything. Get ready, the Aztecs are coming. It's time to defend your city. The Aztecs are on the warpath. For days they have been preparing for the flowery war. The great square in the city center of their capital city, Tenochtitlan, has resounded to the beat of a huge war drum. Priests have been chanting and dancing on the temple steps, and hundreds of well-trained soldiers have been getting their weapons and armor ready. Led by its famous noble warriors, the Aztec army has marched out of the city and is now making its way towards you. All you can do to prepare is prepare your own weapons and wait for the Aztecs to arrive. You will need a bow and arrows, plus a spear to attack distant enemies, and a sharp battle axe or war club for hand-to-hand fighting. A magic shield. Decorated with magic patterns, many soldiers believe the magic will protect them on the battlefield. Padded armor. Soak your thickly padded suit in salt water. This will make it even stronger. Handy hint. Always keep plenty of spare obsidian, volcanic glass, for weapon blades. If danger threatens, you won't have time to climb a volcano to get more. Disaster, captured in battle. It's all over. You fought bravely, but you had particularly bad luck. During the battle, you came face to face with a fearsome eagle knight. He seemed anxious not to harm you. Instead, he dragged you from the battlefield to join a large group of captives. Now that the battle is over, the terrible truth is beginning to sink in. You might never see your home and family again. Top Aztec warriors belong to one of two elite brotherhoods, the Jaguar or the Eagle Knights. They wear costumes made from jaguar skin or eagle feathers, which they believe give them strength of wild beasts. Novice soldiers always have long hair. Be on your guard if you meet one. He'll be eager to get you. Young Aztec warriors are not allowed to cut their hair and arrange it in a top-knot style until they prove their manhood by killing an enemy or taking captives. If you are injured by traditional remedies, bathing wounds in salt water kills germs. Raw chili peppers, crushed and rubbed on the skin, help numb pain. Herbal mixtures also act as anesthetics. You can sew wounds up using cactus spines as needles. Handy hint. If you want to make friends with an Aztec warrior, give him flowers. Off-duty warriors like to stroll through the streets, dressed in their best and carrying flowers and herbs. A long desert walk. With your hands tied behind your back, you have been roped together with many other captives, mostly strong young warriors like yourself. You are hungry, thirsty, and exhausted. The desert dust chokes you, and the hot sun half blinds you as you stumble along a narrow mountain track. You are all being taken to Tenochtitlan, which you can see in the distance. You have heard that it is a magnificent city, full of fine buildings and surrounded by fertile gardens. But any admiring thoughts are far from your mind. You just want to escape. In the desert, even the plants are unfriendly. You'll find no place to hide behind prickly cacti, spindly sage bushes, or tall, thin stalks of maize. Even if you escape, you might die of thirst, or be driven mad by the loneliness, or be eaten by wild animals, or freeze to death overnight, or even meet an angry Aztec god. Handy hint. Look where you're going. All kinds of deadly animals, like snakes and scorpions, lurk among the desert rocks. Hand-picked. Who will be chosen? When you reach the Aztec capital city, you are taken to a prison and crammed inside a wooden cage along with other captives. Guards bring you food and water every day. One morning, you are visited by some of the priests from the Aztecs' most important temple. They spend a long time looking at you through the bars of your cage, and the scribes who accompany them write notes on pieces of fig bark paper. It's a good thing you can't read Aztec picture writing. Otherwise, you would learn that your name is being added to the list of prisoners chosen for sacrifice. Are you top quality? If you are unhealthy, scarred, diseased, ugly, or fat, the Aztecs will not choose you for sacrifice. Instead, you will be forced to work as a slave. Perfect! You have good skin, good hair, good teeth, and a strong body. You are perfect for an Aztec sacrifice. Aztec priests are sent to temple schools when young and taught to read, write, and calculate. They also learn astronomy and religion. They endure long nights alone on mountainsides to make them physically and mentally tough. They also help with temple rituals. Handy hint. Hold your nose when priests are near. They stink of soot, smoke, stale incense, rotten flesh, and dried blood. A, a gift fit for the gods. Oh no, guards tell you that the priests have chosen you to be sacrificed as a gift to their gods. You are horrified by this news, but you also understand. Many cultures in Mesoamerica offer human sacrifices to the gods. The gods provide rain, sunshine, and everything else to keep humanity alive, so you must offer them as gifts in return. Now, as you sit in your prison cage, only one thought fills your mind. To which god will you be sacrificed? The Aztec believes that the gods will be angry and might destroy the world if they don't offer them sacrifices. Aztec scribes say that this has already happened 4 times. Previous worlds were destroyed by a hungry tiger, wind, rain, and a flood. Each time the world was reborn. Next time, however, the world will end once and for all in a massive earthquake. Human sacrifices are not the only offerings the Aztecs make to their gods. They also present them with other things they value, from flowers to beautiful music. Smoking Mirror is one of the Aztecs' most important gods. He protects warriors. Captives are sacrificed to him in the temples of Tenochtitlan. Handy hint, don't try to escape. You'll be punished severely by being stoned, strangled, or even speared with long cactus spines. A special day. Soon you learn that the Aztecs are planning a great festival called the New Fire Ceremony. One of their most important festivals, it only happens once every 52 years. All lights and fires are put out for 5 days, and everyone fears the world will end. Aztec priests and scribes make careful observations of the sun, moon, stars, and planets. They measure time using a calendar that is 260 days. Each year is divided into 13 months, each with 20 days. Aztec farmers use a different calendar based on the movements of the sun. It has 360 days, plus 5 extra unlucky ones. After 73 priest years and 52 farmers' years, the 2 calendars' cycles end on the same day. This is when the New Fire Ceremony is held. At the end of the 5 days, priests look for Venus, the evening star in the sky. When it appears, they sacrifice a captive and light the new fire on him. Then the Aztecs rejoice. To calculate days for festivals and sacrifices, Aztec priests and scribes use yet another calendar based on the planet Venus, the evening star. Each Venus year is 584 days long. The ball game is a religious ritual as well as a sport. Players keep a rubber ball moving in the court to give energy to the sun. Handy hint. Hope to be chosen to play in the ball game. If you win, you'll have a chance of surviving because only the losing team is sacrificed. How will you meet your end? Most captives are sacrificed by having their hearts cut out with a sharp knife. This is performed so quickly that it is almost painless. Some captives are beheaded, which is also a quick and merciful way to be sacrificed. However, there are also much slower and nastier ways of being killed. You could be thrown into a lake and left to drown, or you could be skinned alive. If you were a warrior, you could be tied to a stone and forced to fight a senior Aztec warrior using weapons made from feathers and wood. You might be flayed, skinned. In springtime, captives are sacrificed to Zipetotec, the god of new young plants. The captive skins are cut off and used to dress the god statue. Beheaded. Just before harvest, a person the same height as the standing maize is killed by having his head chopped off. Drown. Young people are thrown into lakes as offering to Tlaloc, the god of water and life-giving rain. Sacrificial knives are made from flint, obsidian, or semi-precious stone. They are often beautifully decorated with the images of the gods. The Aztecs do not know how to make knives from iron or steel, but they are expert stoneworkers. These knives are very sharp. Handy hint, if you are forced to fight, fight well to bring honor to your family and your city, and to please the gods. Up the temple steps. Sounds of drumming and chanting echo around the city as the festival approaches. At dawn, the guards make you drink a strange-tasting potion, which makes you feel drowsy. Along with thousands of other captives, you walk to the temple at the center of Tenochtitlan. You see priests with their bodies painted black and red with wild matted hair. Behind them, you glimpse fearsome statues of the gods. Walking slowly up the temple steps, you are grabbed by 5 priests and flung on your back across a sacrificial stone. You see no more. You might feel lost in the crowds of people. On some occasions, the Aztec kill huge numbers of captives. It is said that 20,000 men were sacrificed when the great temple in the center of Tenochtitlan was dedicated in 1487. You are probably not too scared because an herbal potion makes you feel drowsy and peaceful. Drumming and chanting lull you into a trance-like state. After weeks in prison, you have forgotten what life was like before. The priests are so awe-inspiring that you feel you have to obey them. You know that your death will help others. It is a positive act. Handy hint, don't slip on the temple steps. They are terribly steep and will be wet with blood. If you fall, you'll be badly injured and could die a slow, painful death. What happens to your body? You die quickly and with little pain, but the sacrifice is not over yet. The priests cut your heart from your body and raise it toward the sky to show it to the gods. Then they place it in a special container called a chakmul as an offering to the gods. Next, they cut off your head and display it in a skull rack along with hundreds of others. This gives the temple extra spirit power. Finally, your blood is poured down the temple steps, and your limbs are tossed to the crowds of worshippers below. The warrior who captured you collects the limbs and takes them home. He cooks and eats your sacrificed flesh. This is a way of sharing a holy meal and linking heaven and earth. Your heart, the most precious part of the sacrifice, will be held in a chakmul carved from stone. Your head will be kept in a skull rack outside the temple. Your blood will be poured down the temple steps. Your arms and legs will be eaten as a religious feast. The Aztecs genuinely believe that the sun will only continue to shine if sacrifices are offered to it. They do not view the ritual sacrifice as cruel or bloodthirsty because it ensures that life will continue. Handy hint, don't worry too much. Your family will be proud that you died honorably. Will your spirit become a butterfly? Like many other Mesoamerican people, you have always believed that your spirit would live on after death, whatever happened to your body. Because you fought bravely while you were alive, and died bravely too, your spirit will become a beautiful butterfly. It will spend some time on earth bringing joy to the people who see it. Then, finally, it will fly up to the heaven to make its home with the sun. Other people are not so lucky. The Aztecs believe that some unhappy spirits have to make a long, miserable journey through the underworld before they finally perish in hell. Some ghosts are condemned to haunt the earth forever, bringing fear to all who see them. Some spirits, like the ghost of executed criminals, are said to haunt the streets at night. The spirits of women who have died in childbirth are said to terrify travelers at crossroads. Handy hint, feel proud, strong, and free. Every time the Aztecs see a butterfly on earth, they think of people like you.